One Space Needle coming right up. It was an era of courageous quests, nationally, landing on the moon within the decade, and locally, building a bold, enduring beacon. 60 years ago, ground was broken for our city's 605-foot Space Needle on April 17, 1961 to be exact. A year later, on April 21, 1962, the Seattle World's Fair opened, and so did the Needle. Today's warp speed endeavors have little on this one. It's hard to fathom how fast the fair's signature symbol went up, but Gary Curtis has a grasp. The 24-year-old was 2 years out of Walla Walla University's engineering program in March 1961 while working in the 5-person Pasadena office of structural engineer John Manassian, an expert in the wind and seismic loads of towers. There, Curtis began pumping out detailed drawings that guided the Needle's assembly. From the get-go, adrenaline fueled the overtime pace. 13 months later, the structure's going to be done, Curtis says. They hadn't even rolled the steel yet in Chicago. Daily, Curtis and others produced and overnighted tubes of oversized documents to Seattle at 11 p.m. for use by 8 a.m. We would look at where they were, the actual construction, the guys putting steel together, and we'd be detailing stuff 150 feet above where they were working, he says. You didn't mess around. Instead of cutting corners, however, the engineers strengthened them. We just threw the steel at it, he says. What we did was brutal. It was a beautiful design, but we didn't have time to do refined analysis. If you found out that a 1/4-inch plate was going to probably be about right, use 3/8, use 5/16. You didn't skimp on anything. If 50 bolts made a connection, 75 went in. There was no time to try to figure out how to save money. Saving money was not the point. Getting it done on time was the point. Through the Needle's decades of wear and renovation, the work has held up, and so has Curtis. Now 84 and living 80 miles and a ferry ride north of Seattle, Curtis lovingly preserves copies of his drawings and the tools he used to create them: a slide rule, triangle, drafting pencils, a pencil sharpener, erasers, and an erasing shield. Eyeing his 1961 lettering and GNC initials on the plans, he breaks into a grin. It was really exciting, he says. You're 24? Come on. Good grief, that's just what you do. Though he's worked on high bridges and geodesic domes and consulted at the South Pole, for him the Needle stands supreme. He says, it's the most dramatic project that people know most about. In our then photo, these two images of the Space Needle under construction may look otherworldly today, but they were just part of the blink and you'll miss it scene in summer 1961 as organizers and construction workers hustled to prepare for the April 21, 1962 opening of the Seattle World's Fair. Gary Curtis, top right, one of the Needle's Pasadena-based engineers, poses with his son and daughter-in-law, Gart and Deb Curtis, and grandchildren Margot and Leland at the Needle's base in 2015. Curtis says when he was drafting needle drawings, Gart was in diapers. For a video interview of Curtis, visit pauldorpat.com. Today, the Space Needle rises behind Alexander Lieberman's bright red 1984 Olympic Iliad sculpture at Seattle Center. For an in-depth account of the Needle's history, dig into Knut Berger's colorful book, Space Needle, The Spirit of Seattle. Documentary Media, 2012.